his hedgehog around. Found ourselves in a situation, stuck in a new location without any explanation. No time for relaxation. Don't blink, don't think, just go.
Hello, and welcome to the Sonic Shuffle, a random and holistic Sonic lore podcast. I'm Dan, the teacher.
I'm Morg, the student.
And I'm Devon, the other student.
Let's see. We're going through some Sonic X this week. But before that, there is a surprising bit of Sonic news, although the confirmation on it is somewhat limited. So, earlier today, the day of this recording, January 28th, 2021, Roger Craig Smith tweeted on his Twitter, and he is a verified Twitter user, so this wasn't like a joke account or anything. Well, 10 years was an amazing run. Onwards to new zones. Much love to the fans who've been so kind. Blue heart emoji. It's been an honor. Hedgehog emoji. And then just a photo of a blue cracked heart.
Huh.
The voice?
Yeah. Roger Craig Smith is the current, well, up until now, the current main voice actor for Sonic. He started voicing him way back in Sonic Colors, and Craig got disconnected. Oh well.
Bye, Craig.
Different.
Yeah. But anyways, like I was saying, he was up until very recently the voice of Sonic from Sonic Colors in 2011, 2010. I keep forgetting. Up until now, there hasn't been like any official statement outside of this tweet, and we don't know who's replacing him, but most likely it'll be the voice actor who played him in the movie, who is, let me look up his name. He's a notable voice actor. I don't know why I forgot. I need to learn it. Ben Schwartz. Yes, Ben Schwartz.
Oh.
I don't know how I forgot Ben Schwartz, but he's presumably going to be the new voice actor for Sonic from now on. Nothing confirmed.
Was that just based on the fact that he was in the movie, or was there, like, rumors?
Just like the fact that he was in the movie, that he seems like the most likely pick for if they want to do a new Sonic. Yeah, that's all I gotta say about that. That's some big news, I guess.
Yeah.
To be fair, Roger Craig Smith is in, like, a lot of stuff, so I don't think he's necessarily short for work.
God.
But, yeah. Actually, I think his most recent role was, the dub voice of Daigo Dojima in Yakuza 7, like a dragon.
Oh,
That's
so
it.
he's doing well.
Yeah. Yeah, he's done all sorts of big roles, like he was Ezio. Why am I blanking on Roger Craig Smith's voice? Yeah, he's Captain America and a bunch of the animated stuff they do for Marvel. He's done Batman at least once or twice. Oh yeah, it looks like he's the voice actor for Batman in like any sort of like direct to video Batman film. Let's see. There's some other roles of varying levels of bigness, but that's just a couple examples. Does a lot of video game voice acting. And Ben Schwartz is also in a lot of cartoons. He was in Parks and Rec. He's in DuckTales 2017. That's all I know off the top of my head. So let's get into the episodes. Our first episode is... Wait, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I hear you, yeah.
We're just waiting.
Okay,
What
okay.
you say.
Yeah. Sorry about that. Anyways, episode 5, at the English title, which I had to look up because the Netflix uses the English dubs, but does not use the English titles for whatever reason, but episode 5 is Cracking Knuckles.
Episode 5 in the sub is Clash, Sonic vs. Knuckles.
Yeah. Oh, just to let the listeners know, Devon, did you watch the sub or the dub?
I watched the dub this time, mostly because I just forgot to fully look for the sub.
Mm-hmm.
So I am currently a dub watcher.
Right. Yeah. Just to remind the listeners, I'm going through the dub, Morg's going through the sub. Let's get into this. So, it's night. Knuckles sees a newspaper fly by that shows Sonic fighting Robotnik in a fight. And we get this flashback to the Emerald Sanctuary from Sonic Adventure.
It's also the first episode. Like,
yeah. Did they? I think, yeah, they must have.
Because that's when they, chaos controlled into the human.
Right. No, I mean the Master Emerald Sanctuary. It's a separate thing.
Oh. Yes, okay.
Yeah. Eggman shows up and he begs Knuckles for help. He says that he needs the emeralds to get back to his world. And Sonic knew this would happen. That's why he did all this. He wanted to go to another world to go on fun adventures. He's so irresponsible.
Famously evil Sonic is just trying to bully famously nice Eggman, who just wants to help everyone get home, but famously evil Sonic is just being mean.
Yeah.
Eggman even says in the sub, he's like, I just want to go home and live out the rest of my life in peace.
He's no evidence of anything. He's just like, oh yeah, I'm trying to reform my ways. I'm nice now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Because Knuckles is 1, a moron, and 2, already dislikes Sonic, he completely falls for it. He calls Sonic a selfish hog. He decides he's gonna take the emeralds plural ? From Sonic.
Yeah.
And then we get the OP.
Gotta go fast.
I'm just like, why is this motherfucker so gullible? Like, I know that's kind of his whole thing, but it was just like, damn, Knuckles, you're so fucking... I was like, this is why they made him, like, goofy, funny man in Boom. like the slower thinking man in Boom. I feel like they're like, oh, he keeps falling for shit. Let's just make him a doof.
Knuckles has always had strong dumbass energy, and so they just took out the edginess and gave the rest to Shadow.
Yeah.
Yeah. After the OP, we get Chris and Tails observing the Chaos Emerald with Chris's grandpa, who's I think his goes by Chuck. I'm not sure.
Yeah, he does. Yes, his name's Chuck.
Yeah. Yeah, they're checking out the Chaos Emerald. They talk about how mysterious it is and how the grandpa wants to study it. And we get Ella. And, Ella's the maid.
Mhm.
She's not white. She has a stereotypical Latina accent done by a white man.
Uh-huh.
Didn't know that.
Mike Pollock, in fact, famous voice of Dr. Eggman, also his other debut role for Sonic.
He's really filling out that portfolio. He
I
says,
don't
look, the
know.
voices I can do evil egg doctor dude, or I could do racist stereotype.
Yeah.
Well, she doesn't have. I mean, if she did have an accent, Japanese, I wouldn't know. But I don't know who voices her. I didn't.
Yeah.
But yikes.
I have no idea how she is, and I've watched the sub of season 1, but I wouldn't know if she does something if the voice is racist or not. I don't know Japanese or so we meet Ella, and Chris and Tails they all know that Tails can't be seen as himself, so Tails goes limp and pretends to be a plush toy. They run out, and then Mr. Tanaka is there, and Mr. Tanaka, he's the butler, and I don't know who's voicing him, but he also has a racist accent.
Uh-huh.
This time he's Asian.
Well, I could confirm he doesn't in this because he's literally just speaking Japanese.
He is simply speaking.
Also, like, Ella is just voiced by a woman. I mean, not like she's a Japanese woman, but like, I think they're all Japanese voice actors.
Yeah.
So
they're not weird about it.
Boy, howdy.
Yeah.
Love that early aughts.
Casual racism, yeah.
It's going great.
Yeah. Also, I'm pretty sure they keep whoever's doing the background music really likes playing certain like tones and scales when Mr. Tanaka shows up.
Whoa.
It's not like the most obvious thing. In fact,
yeah.
I only noticed it this time around. But a lot of flutes. But yeah.
Okay, well.
Yeah, we've been hit with a double dose of racism.
Uh-huh.
He tells Chris's grandpa that he should stop playing games with his grandson and that he should go to sleep, and he drags him off to do that.
It's the middle of the day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This dude just says, stop having fun, you're old, you should be sleeping.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't...
in the sub, it's just like, oh, you haven't been getting enough sleep lately, Chuck. You should probably, like, sleep, is what it is. Not,
okay.
Oh, you should go to sleep in the middle of the day no matter what. It's more just like, oh, you've been staying up late researching, my dude, and you're old. Like, you should probably... I know.
Okay.
So it's a little less weird, I guess.
Yeah.
It's a little less weird that he's basically yelling at an old man to not do anything all day.
Yeah.
But after he's dragged off, Amy shows up to tell Chris and Tails that there has been a report of another Chaos Emerald on the news. And so they see that. The news report says that there's mysterious readings at Silver Valley. Amy sees this as an opportunity to go on a date with Sonic. And she, tries to invite Sonic for that. Sonic tells her that he's already been there. It seems to be, whenever Sonic's not on screen, he's either not doing anything or he's out running somewhere.
Yeah, he seems to travel a lot. They can't go to the valley because Chuck is the driver, you know. So at first they're like, "Oh no." But then Tails, Amy, and Chris all take a train there, or it's like a car.
They take a bus.
It's they take a cable car.
Yeah, that's the word, cable car. Thank you. Yes.
Yeah. And in order to do it, Amy and Tails pose as stuffed animals. There's I don't know if this is dub exclusive, but Amy mentions that she can't blink while she's pretending to be a stuffed animal.
No,
yeah,
I find that
too.
Oh, good.
Yep.
It's extremely concerning.
She's like, my eyes are getting dry.
She's like,
and I'm like, oh.
She's like, my eyes hurt so much. And then a little girl starts pulling on her, telling her mom that she wants a stuffed animal like that, and Amy just kicks her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amy just beats up a little girl.
Yeah.
I would be kind of pissed if someone tugged on my fucking ear.
Oh no,
too,
it's completely understandable. She can't blink and she's getting her face tugged on by a random child. But also, Amy just does not care.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, when she kicks the girl and the girl starts crying, she thinks to herself, now if only I could blink, this would be perfect. She's relishing in this.
She's just like, ugh, that girl has no manners.
Yeah. Bokun shows up to deliver a TV to Sonic.
Yeah, what did Bokun show up in earlier episodes? I do not remember Bokun. But he's in both episodes.
Yeah, I think he's shown up before.
I don't know. All I know is that I think I love him. He's just a funny little guy.
It's been a while, to be fair. I was like, is this a dark chow? I was like, is this a dark chow? What the fuck? Who is this man?
Bokun is an anime exclusive, and his whole thing is that he carries around little TVs and he delivers them to Sonic so that Eggman can send him messages. I think sometimes he does other stuff, but I think he's just generally Eggman's messenger.
Guy. He's a dark chow to me. He is.
He really is.
Guy.
He's extremely a funny little guy. The Sonic series has had plenty of funny little guys over its history, and Bokun is one of them. Damn, now I'm thinking about other funny little guys.
I'm a gremlin in my notes until I relearned his name. I don't know.
Yeah. I honestly don't remember if he's shown up before. It's been months since the last time we talked about this show. And I'm sure listeners will appreciate me re-explaining since it's probably been 20 episodes at least. But yeah, so Bokun's TV he's delivering this time is a message from Knuckles, and he's cutting a promo. He's basically like,
That's
Sonic, you gotta meet me at Silver Lake Monday night, Raw.
He's like, fucking meet me outside behind the bleachers if you want to get an ass kicking.
Yeah.
And Sonic says, no, not really. And then the TV blows up and he's like, damn, maybe I do want to get an ass kicking.
Yeah.
He's like,
Listen.
yeah, all right, I'll go. Whatever.
Yeah.
He's like, fine, I'm not doing anything.
So, yeah, Sonic goes off to do that, but meanwhile, Chris, Tails, and Amy are by the lake. They're having a picnic. And then something shows up. It's one of Eggman's big robots. It's got this glass chamber in the middle. And it captures Sonic, it captures Tails, Chris, and Amy.
Does the dub give it a name? Because I got a name.
Don't think so. I think he just says it's his perfect creation.
Yeah.
His name is Pumpty.
Humpty.
No, Pumpty.
Pump.
Like Humpty, but
Pumpty.
with a P.
Pumpty?
Pumpty.
Pumpty.
Okay.
At least that's what I read. I was like, okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Humpty Dumpty Pumpty.
I know that that the sub does like give names for all the robots, like the little eye catches, like when it cuts to commercial, are all like the names of the robots that are in that episode.
Incredible.
Sometimes it's characters that I don't remember an eye catch for this robot. Eggman calls him Pumpty. I'm like, what the fuck?
Pumpty. I would like to just quickly, before we move on, talk about how it appears that Amy brought like picnic stuff for her date with Sonic, and then Sonic said no, and she just decided to bring it anyway when they were clearly going out to get like a dangerous emerald. And they probably thought they'd be fighting. She's just like, yeah, but like, I don't know, maybe we can also just have this nice picnic.
Can't fight on an empty stomach,
you don't
right?
want to fight a dangerous evil robot warlord on a dangerous stomach.
Listen, when you've got a picnic basket, it's plus 400 HP for the entire party. You don't want to miss out on that. So, Eggman explains that he set up the machine to set up fake energy spikes so that, like, the media would think an emerald was there. And they just sort of ran with it.
Yeah.
The fake news, am I right?
Misinformation.
Fucking Eggman, the deep state.
Eggman and his little hands.
I was gonna say Q Eggman, but oh my god. Ooh. Let's see. Sonic and Knuckles finally meet up, and they get ready to and subsequently fight, and honestly, this is a little bit of a Looney Tunes thing, because, like, Knuckles is mad, and he wants to fight, and he desperately wants to kick Sonic's ass, and Sonic's just fucking with him. Sonic is
just having the time of his life.
Yeah.
Sonic could not care less about this man at all.
He does eventually get distracted, though, and get, like, a fist to the face, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they...
Never. I was, like, gonna ask something, but I don't know I realized it was gonna be like related to the word like Ivo and stuff, but that's like
Oh, right.
I would have to ask other pod
Ivo.
agreed.
Right. Okay.
Because Sonic calls Knuckles partner,
Huh.
and I was like, why? I don't actually know what that means.
Yeah,
Other than
I know.
in the context of Yu-Gi-Oh.
Like.
Other than the context of, hey buddy, what you doing? Maybe it's mocking.
Weird. I know Ivo is Eggman's first name. He's Dr. Ivo Robotnik.
No, but
and
Sonic was calling Knuckles
right, Ivo. Oh, right. Sorry,
partner.
I forgot.
Maybe it's mocking. Maybe it's just like, hey partner, what's up?
Yeah.
Now I'm just remembering.
Oh boy,
Man,
it was
back.
They.
feel
You know,
like pure shit.
I should have been more on top of.
Back.
I should have been more on top of like Sonic news, because at some point between, I think now and whenever there was whenever I started this podcast, there were some like events for Speed Battle, which is like their mobile game, and one was you could get a variant of Knuckles where he's wearing the hat.
Oh my god.
Damn.
He also got a cool cowboy vest to go with it.
Oh fuck yeah.
Damn. Knuckle looking fresh as fuck.
Yeah.
So yeah, you were saying it's kind of cartoony, and I thought that too, but like it's weird because it's not as cartoony as like us watching Adventures.
Yeah, it's
closer to that than like other.
It's cartoony in the way that like Knuckles thinks this is very important and Sonic could really care less about him. And the fact that Eggman is just like on the other side of a big lake, just like cheering Knuckles on for no reason.
Yeah, I guess it is like Looney Tunes by way of anime fight.
Yeah.
Maybe like you could also say like a Lupin thing. I don't know. So yeah, the fight is basically Knuckles doing everything in his power to like destroy Sonic with his massive amounts of power, but Sonic's too fast for him and he like dodges everything. It just like sort of fun and casually.
Knuckles deforests a forest.
Yeah, he just smashes down trees with his bare fists. Well, gloved fists. Anyways,
His box.
The fight gets interrupted when Sonic like finally catches Eggman. Tails has a screwdriver from somewhere that he used to open up a panel in the robot to expose some wiring, and Amy smashes that, and the robot explodes.
This show takes full advantage of hammer space because Amy has a hammer, so literally. And then Tails.
Yeah.
No pocket.
This
No pockets on either of them, to be
part
honest.
is funny because it's treated as like a joke. Because they're like, oh, Tails, how'd you do that? And he's like, I have a screwdriver. And then it lets the silence sit there for a second. And then he's like, so I took the panel off. And I'm just like,
yeah.
Was there supposed to be a joke there?
Yeah, I'm wondering like if they had some awkwardness with translating whatever Tails actually said there, but I really have no idea.
I mean, yeah, that's like all he said was, oh yeah, I have a screwdriver and I undid the thing. And then Amy was like, this is taking too long. Like, that's kind of just all it
It's just like they have like this weird awkward pause where I'm just like, am I supposed to like laugh here?
Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe they're like trying to make it so you like think about
You
like
know?
where'd he get that
Maybe that's what it was for.
from? Damn.
Right.
I will start thinking about it. Where did he get that?
Right. Hmm.
Tails, young man?
Hid it in his tails. Uh. So yeah, Sonic spots Eggman and he noticed like the robot but the robot still works and Eggman has it attack Sonic.
Yeah, they like they busted a hole, but like they're coughing, and then like the robot like keeps them from actually getting down, and it like
Yeah.
flips over and like gets some guns out, or not. Well, not guns, like robot blasters.
Right. And Eggman Knuckles tries to stop the fight because he wants this to be an honorable battle between him and Sonic. And Eggman's like, "Oh, you want to fight with honor? Well, in that case, I'm going to fight dirty." And by which he means he's just going to go off and with Sonic's friends as hostages. Knuckles learns that Eggman lied, people died. And Eggman has the robot go to the other side of the lake, so Sonic will have to swim across. But Sonic just runs around the lake. It's really not an issue.
He forgets Sonic is very fast.
He's like, Sonic, you're weak to water. Sonic runs. Fuck!
Just damn it, I forgot Sonic was fast.
Damn it, I forgot that was his whole goddamn thing.
I keep forgetting he's a hedgehog.
I keep forgetting that his name is Sonic because he's fast. They get out of the robot. Amy holds Sonic. And then Eggman has Pumpty fire a barrage of missiles. And Knuckles decides to do something about it. He decides he's going to fight the robot and Eggman. He does this cool climb onto it. He does a team rocket on Eggman and sends him flying away. And then he punches the robot so hard that it explodes.
Yeah, it just cracks.
Yeah, he just punches it and it cracks in two and explodes. It's great.
And then doesn't Knuckles kind of just or Sonic kind of saves Knuckles because he like blasts it and it makes the blast kind of or he punches it and makes it kind of blast open, so he grabs Knuckles and keeps him from flying away essentially.
Mm-hmm.
And then Knuckles kind of just is leaves and doesn't say anything at first because he's
right.
He doesn't say thanks or anything.
He's cool.
And then Amy goes up
he's
to
too
him
cool.
and is like, "Hey, I know you're just you want to say thanks to Sonic, but you're too embarrassed."
Yeah, he gives the Sasuke thank you, which is just a smirk and then a walk away.
This colorful motherfucker thinks he's Sasuke.
Yeah.
I'm like, where's Shadow? He's the real Sasuke of the show. I'm sorry, Knuckles.
Yeah, it is reminding me how before Shadow was the real rival to Sonic, it was kind of Knuckles, and
he got replaced.
He got the same treatment Piccolo did.
He got Piccolo'd.
Except I like Piccolo more than
Yeah.
Knuckles. Sorry.
Can't
Knuckles.
wait till Sonic has a son and Piccolo gets to raise him.
Yeah. And yeah, that's basically the end of the episode. I don't think anything else happens.
No.
Yeah, Knuckles just like walks away though after Amy.
Yeah, he just
Does
pieces out.
Does Knuckles have a weirder face than Sonic? Does he just always look like that? Is that just his face? I'm sorry.
I think that's just
Yeah.
his face.
I feel like I'm being extremely rude to Knuckles for no reason.
I guess the way his head is
There's
shaped
valid
definitely
reason.
feels... It definitely feels flatter and wider than Sonic's.
Yeah, I think that's it. I think
They're
that's why I'm
trying-
like, what is happening?
They're trying hard to make him not look like also a hedgehog, but I don't think they know what
Yeah.
echidnas. I don't think they know what echidnas look like, so they're just like, let's just make him
They
rounder.
don't know what hedgehogs look like either, let's be real.
Yeah.
Folks, let's be real.
Now, folks.
You can think Sonic is a cool design, but I don't know if he's hedgehog shaped exactly.
No.
If you think real
no.
hard.
Honestly, I'm just thinking about various iterations on animals that show up throughout the entirety of Sonic, and
Oh,
I
yeah.
think they just... Yeah?
I'm sorry, this is what I wanted to ask. I don't know. What is
Yeah?
Amy supposed to be?
She's a
Amy is
hedgehog.
also a hedgehog.
I don't believe you.
Yeah, she's a hedgehog.
I
She just has hair, like her spikes are hair instead for some reason.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's a hedgehog.
I don't know why, ever since I've known Amy, I just figured she was just supposed to be like loose animal, but I'm just like, that's just like a person.
She's kind of a person.
I'm just like, every time I see her, I'm like, that's just a human person. I know it's not supposed to be an animal,
Some
but
of-
you know.
Some of them look more like the animals than others. Like Big the Cat, like you can tell he's a big ass
Yeah.
cat.
Mhm.
And like Charmy the bee, like sure, that's
Yeah.
a bee.
I feel like the later
Like-
designs, they start making them look more like actual
Yeah.
Yeah. I can see that.
Until
yeah.
then, there's like, Sonic
But-
is blue and spiky, so of course he's a hedgehog. And I say, thank you.
Mhm.
Unless they're making more hedgehogs, because they have to be like, well, we made one hedgehog look like this, so we have to make them all
But they
kinda
don't
look-
need to, because the whole thing about
Yeah.
Sonic is that he was in an accident that made him look like that.
But like they have like Shadow, and then they have like Silver, and they both kind of like have Sonic aesthetics. Like they're different,
Yeah.
but they're
Right.
similar. They got they got the weird
They got
spikes.
them weird spikes.
Yeah.
If anything, I would think they would be porcupines, just because the spikes are so long.
Oh, yeah, I think... Fuck. Now I'm thinking about misconceptions, and I did think Sonic was like a porcupine, even though Hedgehog was in his name.
Yeah,
Fucked up.
because they're like long. Like yeah, it's kind of because it's stylized into hair, but like
Yeah.
whatever.
Fucked up if
Whatever.
true.
Yeah. So let's hop over to episode 6, Techno Teacher.
Or fierce battle, school wars.
Oh, there was a fierce battle in this episode? Damn, I must have been sleeping through that one.
I don't know. I guess so.
Still waiting
I-
for
I
that
don't
apparently.
think so.
Yeah.
It was at a school, and there was some fighting, at least fighting words.
I
Someone got
guess.
punched.
Someone blasted some missiles. There were some missiles.
Yeah. So we open up with this, like, bit about Sonic running, and apparently Sonic just doesn't really talk to people. And that's basic. Yeah.
Yeah, he just like sleeps all the time and ignores his friends.
Sonic is basically, like, honestly, a thing about Sonic X, especially in the first season, Sonic isn't really the protagonist. He's more like a force of nature that that happens to be around.
Yeah, it's Chris, right? Like, Chris is supposed to be the protagonist, which, like, is kind of weird. Not just
Sonic?
because the show is named after Sonic, but, like, because he's still kind of the one who ends up doing stuff. Like,
Sonic is Chris's stand.
I was thinking Sonic is kind of like not Chris's mentor exactly because he's not really good at teaching in this either, but like
Idol?
I guess. Yeah.
He's... I would describe him as... I think a good way to put it would be like...
Force of
He's like... He's like a cool 20-something relative.
Yeah. He's like his cool older brother, his cool Oni.
Yeah.
Who's like kind of irresponsible, but like Chris doesn't realize he's kind of irresponsible because he's like, oh, you're cooler and older than me. So obviously you have all your shit together.
Yeah, we'll
Yeah.
show up when needed, but will most likely put you in extreme
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, these are like children just like getting into danger, I
Yeah.
guess. I'm just so used to like Tails and Amy getting into danger, but I'm like seeing Chris there, it's like, oh yeah, they're kind of young, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, so Chris is eating breakfast and Mr. Tanaka tells him that his parents will be visiting. And Chris is excited, but then he leaves mysteriously. Just abandons his breakfast.
Yeah. He doesn't want his parents to see his weird animal.
Yeah.
He doesn't want his parents to see the aliens that have moved into his house.
He doesn't want his parents to know about his persona.
I mean,
Yeah.
same.
He
Let's be
says,
real.
parents, you cannot meet all my furry friends. And they're like, you have like new pets? And he's like, no.
Sonic and friends are eating hamburgers. I think they're hamburgers.
Yeah, they are for once. 4Kids didn't edit it to make them look like hamburgers. They just are hamburgers.
Yeah. Yeah, Chris tells him about how his parents are gonna show up, and Sonic just walks away.
He could not care less.
Yeah. Grandpa Chuck tells Amy and Tails about Chris's parents, who, as I recall stating once before, are Elon Musk and Grimes.
Oh, I forgot
basically.
you called them that. Oh, it's just a future where like Elon Musk and Grimes' child grows up and renames himself Chris because the name is so fucking stupid.
Yeah.
I'm in pain.
Yeah. We cut over to Eggman, and he's trying to come up with a plot to cause some mayhem. He thinks, I could get some kids to like me, and then their parents would have to like me too.
Yeah.
So he gets out his deck slot machine thing that he uses sometimes. And this time he gets a teacher robot. It's a robot that's got graduation clothes. He just got his degree.
That's just you. That's just you to us.
Yeah.
I think you might be the
Oh,
teacher
no.
Might be the
robot.
teacher robot.
I guess I'm intelligente.
Also,
By the way,
That's his name. I was really surprised, but that's his name in Japanese too. They
Yeah.
call him.
I love how Eggman just has a trading card game for his inventions.
Yeah.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
Eggman is basically doing the thing. He's using Wheel Decide to decide on his robot for the week.
Teach the kids to admire me.
Yeah, teach the kids to admire me so they'll go to their parents and say, hey, Eggman's not so bad, so they'll elect me president. Because adults are famous for listening to their kids.
Yeah.
That's nice, child.
Thank you, child. I will definitely listen to you.
This is a solid plan on Eggman's part.
I feel like a lot of this episode works on like a weird cartoon logic in like a completely different way than the last one, because it's very like set up kind of like a weirdly childish way. Like, if I get the students to like me, then everyone in the world will like me.
This episode is...
And it's very like weirdly like slow because of that. It's almost
It's also has the feeling of like a Saturday morning cartoon where there should be like a lesson at the end of this episode that I should like learn. But as far as I can tell, there's absolutely nothing in here.
Yeah, there's no lesson.
Other than your good teachers.
The end,
other
no
than your
moral.
good teachers might work for dictators.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Chris is at school. The kids don't know what to do because the teacher's fallen asleep. By the way, this teacher is Mr. Stewart. He's a government spy assigned to spy on Chris to get more information on Sonic.
He's doing a great job.
He's not very good at either of his jobs.
Yeah.
He's just asleep, and then like the robot just comes in, like literally. So I think one of the questions we had today was like, how did they let a robot in? And I'm like, they just let it in.
He just
came in. The door was unlocked.
He didn't need to be invited in or anything.
He said my classroom now.
Like, he just walked in.
Yeah, Well, you see, he's wearing graduation clothes,
as all teachers do. They walk in, and
he's got a perfect disguise.
And they say, "Hello, I'm teacher now."
I feel like that's just what
this is like. If this is like,
looks like. So now, like especially in older cartoons, they're like, "Oh, you have a cap and gown, you're a teacher," instead of like anything else.
This is like if Agent 47 had to do a job at a university. So
don't kill the children, 47, please.
No. No, he's killing Mr. Stewart.
Oh yeah.
Just then perish is all I say.
He deserves it.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, so Mr. Stewart like wakes up and he's like, "Why are you here? Why are you teaching them? Hello?
Yeah.
Don't do this." And don't like. Do the kids like the robot teacher like immediately, or was it that he runs and gets the principal first? Okay.
He like goes and gets the principal because he's like, "Oh, this robot's gonna start assaulting like the kids, like he's gonna attack them."
Yeah.
And the principal is like, "Oh, damn, there's a robot in your classroom. Let's go check it out." And they get back, and all the kids are like, "Wow, you've solved math for us. It's all so simple now."
Yeah. They love him. Some of the kids look a little bit off model for some reason.
Yeah.
I don't know if anyone else noticed.
Yeah.
A little off model jank gives it's some like, character.
Yeah. So yeah, the robot teacher, Mr. Intelligente, referred to by the students as Mr. Intelligente, he's a better teacher than Mr. Stewart.
That's Dr. Intelligente to you.
Oh, God, fucking yeah. Mr. Stewart is suspicious. He sneaks into a restroom and calls up HQ. Apparently his code name is Chalkboard Charlie.
No way.
He asks...
In Japanese, his name's just codename like teacher or something.
Right.
Like Chalkboard Charlie so much more. What the fuck?
That's gonna be this week's episode title,
About
I
to
think.
change my name to Chalkboard Charlie.
So he's calling him up, tells her there's a robot here, send in all the troops, all of them, the entire military.
Yeah.
And his request is denied, of course.
He wants them to send in the sky troops, sea troops, land troops.
Yeah, there's like, he's like, you gotta send in everybody, and there's like a brief flash of like the entire military mobilizing, and then they're just like, no.
Yeah.
Like, are you kidding me? Absolutely not. Oh yeah, so like it's so the principal, like before that, the principal was like, "Oh, you should learn something from this robot teacher." He just lets him stay there. We should just make sure we say like, yeah, the robot teacher is still there teaching, and it's just with the principal's consent.
It's all good.
Everything's fine. The military thinks this dude's fucking dumb, so then he tries to call the cops.
Yeah. He gets one cop, and he's basically oh fuck,
like a beat cop.
Yeah, he's like he's basically Reginald Vell Johnson at the start of Die Hard. And like he's just there, he's eating his burger. Yeah, the fucking
McDonald's, McSonicdle. Is that anything? McSonic?
Yeah. There's sure. But yeah, it is in fact off-brand McDonald's. There's an N instead of an M. And like the classroom's empty. Mr. Intelligente took them out to play baseball. The cop really does not care about this. And Mr. Stewart, out of sheer frustration, takes the hamburger out of his hands.
Fuck your burger.
Yeah.
And the cop chases him. Yeah.
He's like, you stole from a cop. You could be arrested. And then he like chases him down.
Yeah. Yeah, the cop chases him down with a baton. Eggman checks on the robot.
Funny police brutality.
Yeah, he finds out about Mr. Intelligente. Mr. Intelligente is really good at baseball, and all the kids love it.
They fucking love it.
They love it so much. They love him.
And Eggman's mad because Mr. Intelligente isn't doing his actual job, which is to get the students to like him. Eggman specifically. We cut over to the Thorndike Manor, where a helicopter lands, and out come Chris's parents, Lindsay and Nelson.
I don't get names.
Yeah.
Oh.
Also, there's this really weird bit where they both call Grandpa Chuck their dad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so. Okay.
I know what it's supposed to be is that they're like, oh, we're all family. That means you're like our father. I have never been in a family where someone like calls their not their step, but like their father-in-law, like just dad. Yeah, they normally go by name or just like, oh, hello, father-in-law or whatever.
I've seen it. I feel like it's definitely a thing, like where people, if they're close enough to their like mother and father-in-law, they might just call mom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is a little weird just because I feel like anything like that is weird coming from rich people.
Uh-huh.
Yes,
I
extremely.
don't know why. It feels like more like a middle class American thing. To me, a middle class American, even though I don't.
Right. Yeah, Sonic and friends watch this happen from like a garage. We cut back to Mr. Intelligente. He catches a home run from Chris's friend Danny. And then Bokun shows up to deliver a message to Mr. Intelligente. No exploding TV this time. He just basically tells him, he reiterates what Eggman said before. You gotta administer propaganda, not just do this. Not be a likable teacher. And Mr. Telehente just straight up says, I'd rather be liked than have to do it for Eggman.
Yeah, he's like, I want to be liked. I don't want to make them like Eggman.
Yeah. Bokun gets sad over it. I think we cut ahead to later. The school day's over. Chris just wants to go home and see his parents, but then Dr. Eggman shows up with some screwdrivers in order to threaten to disassemble Mr. Intelligente.
They're just like, oh, Mr. Intelligente, you said you would protect us and like you would stand up to Eggman, and Intelligente's just like, oh, did I? Oh, that's weird. Don't remember that. So, kids, you're now gonna have to learn about Dr. Eggman. And I'm just like, can't they just walk away? It's not like he's threatening them.
Yeah. So Eggman just makes Mr. Intelligente keep the kids captive. Meanwhile, at the Thorndike Manor, Chris's parents are just twiddling their thumbs waiting for their son to get home. Ella's preparing dinner. They just sort of talk each other into not actually doing anything.
Yeah, so I don't know if you get this in the dub, but in the sub they're like, oh, it was always the parents' rule for Chris to walk home like a normal kid, instead of being like picked up by like a maid or servant or whatever, a butler,
Right?
Just so like he could kind of blend in and be like normal kid, and so like that's how Ella and what the fuck is talk each other out of it, but then the parents consider getting him. But the dad has this weird line that's like, I'll be called an overbearing parent if I do that. And I'm like, dude, you're never around. What? You're like the opposite of an overbearing parent. What do you mean?
He's like...
You're like kind of a distant ass parent.
Yeah, like, a big thing about, like, the narrative between Chris and his parents is that they're basically completely neglectful. Like, they like him, they just are never around.
Yeah, like, please, be more overbearing, if you want to call it that. I mean, it's not, though.
Yeah.
He's, like, a child. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, there is, like, a sort of underlying implication of what you said, but they don't directly say it. Sonic apparently picked up on this, and even before, like, Tails or Amy can relay it to him, he's already off. Mr. Intelligente forces all of the kids to draw portraits of Dr. Eggman.
And Chris has this funny line that's just like, I don't think I can make Dr. Eggman look beautiful. Or, like, I don't think I can make a good picture of Dr. Eggman if I tried.
I love how this is, like, Dr. Eggman wanted him to be like, oh yeah, if I get the kids to like me, then like, they'll go back to their parents and get them to like me. And then the best he can do is be like, kids, aren't I cool? You should draw pictures of me. Like,
He's literally like, I won't let them go until they think I'm
he's
cool,
like, I
though."
won't let you go home until you like me. My plan is flawless.
Yeah.
Famously, children like being stuck in one room doing one thing for hours. They love it.
Famously, children love to be kidnapped. Like, okay.
Yeah. So Sonic shows up and they have a fight. It's not much of a fight. Mr. Intelligente fires. Yeah, Sonic basically just one-shots him.
Sonic basically just kills him instantly.
He's a deus. Or I always say this wrong. It's like deus ex machina. He's just there to like.
Yep.
Deus, that's the one. Thank you. I can speak. Deus ex machina. Like he just kind of finishes it, and he's like, "There we go." So that's why I feel like when you said force of nature before, that's like a good way of putting it. He just kind of
Confirms Sonic is God.
Yeah. Listen, Brian David Gilbert, in his desperate attempt to make sense of the Sonic Bible, did learn that Sonic either is God or could kill.
He can do both.
God.
Probably both.
Yeah. Get you a man who can do both.
A man who is God and is willing to kill God.
So yeah, Mr. Intelligente is fucking dead. And Eggman tries to give Sonic a sticker with his face on it.
Yeah.
Sonic doesn't want it. He tries to hand out the sticker. Nobody wants it except for me watching the show. I want that sticker.
Yeah, none of the kids want it. But he just sticks it on himself.
Yeah, he just gives up.
He says, I win. He gives himself a promotion.
Yeah.
He just gives it to Dan through the TV.
Yeah.
He says, Dan, this one's for you.
I'm so happy I have the sticker now. So he flies off in his Egg-O-Matic, and Chris goes home.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. They just go home. That's it.
This is what I'm talking about when I say this feels like there should have been like a lesson to this episode, and there's none.
Yeah, they even are just like, oh yeah, I just hung out with my friends after school. That's why I wasn't here right away. Sorry, parents.
Yeah. Sonic shows up to give a Sonic Says, don't trust your teachers.
They work for dictators. They'll sell you out.
Yeah.
Don't trust authorities, kids. Question everything.
He goes home and says, hey, if you have a good teacher who doesn't fall asleep in the middle of class, they're probably working for a dictator. Don't trust them.
Yeah.
What if this whole thing was just about saying, like, academia is a flawed institution?
And they're right. You know what? I'm accepting
Which
their
is
message.
true. Which
Yeah.
is correct, except they did it in the worst possible way.
All your teachers...
Except maybe Eggman is a symbol of capitalism, and the teacher robot
is a drone!
Is a drone and is teaching, like, any good lessons he could have given were corrupted by the capitalism of Eggman.
The moment he wanted to do the things he wanted to do, Eggman showed up and said, I will literally disassemble you. You know what? This episode does have a message. I was wrong.
I will.
You know what? I was wrong.
Into space.
Sonic X is now my manifesto.
Yeah.
Move over, Communist Manifesto.
Sonic X has radicalized me.
Yeah. Mr. Stewart spots Chris on his way home. He still has the burger. He takes a bite out of it. the cop resumes chasing him. Then Chris finally gets to see his parents, and they have dinner, and the episode ends with the Thorndikes admitting they wanted to try calling the president and the media about it.
Uh-huh.
Yeah! They could just call the president. They could just do that. I mean, to be fair, I think Elon Musk can
Elon Musk definitely does call the president.
So that's accurate.
Yeah. Elon Musk has convinced the president that he's his buddy Corn Pop.
Oh, no. No.
Oh, you know what? That's it. Chris has to hide Sonic and the others from him because he knows what the president does to dogs.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't want my new friends to end up like the others.
Yeah.
I don't want my friends buried in the ground.
He'll fucking do it.
That's what. That's why the teacher is set up at the school.
What if Chris grows up to sing "Ooh"? What if Chris grows up to sing "Ooh"?
That's why the teacher is set up at the school. That's why the government wants to know about Sonic. They're like, damn, we gotta bury that hedgehog.
Stupid.
That ends our episodes for today. So, let's read some questions. If you want to send us a question, you can send it in either on our Twitter, @ShuffleSonic, or you can message us anytime at your leisure on the Sonic Shuffle Discord, which is also in the link in the profile for @ShuffleSonic. We got some questions from the Ask Zone, our Discord channel for it. Our first 3 questions come in from Jasmine, a friend of the show, aka Sidmon. First, what's a good Rival X Rival ship you're a fan of?
This is such a hard question. I was actually thinking about it beforehand because I was I used to be much more into rival ships when I was a kid. I was, my first fandom was Pokemon, and I liked Ash and Gary ship.
Yeah, Kaiba and Yugi is a template.
Kaiba and Yugi, or Kaiba and Joey. I was a real big fan of that as a kid, And
yeah,
that was a template for the rival ship.
To be honest, I am of the Sonic ships. Good. I do think Son Knuckles is a pretty decent one.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. I'm just
Sonic feels like he tolerates their presence.
I don't know. So that's why I'm just
not that he dislikes people, it's just he can't focus on anyone long enough.
At least in Sonic X.
Actually grow attached. If you say you're his friend, he's like, okay, I can deal with that, but I'm also not going to hang out with you.
That's...
Yeah.
I don't know if this counts as a rival ship because it's because the whole story of the game is kind of weird and kind of turns it into more like a job than a rivalry. But I do Hades and I do
that one's a good
Zagreus
one.
and Meg, if that counts as one.
I
guess
it's a good one because it's very much
it's very downplayed. If
they're both doing jobs, but they're also they're okay, eventually this is gonna get flirty. They're like, I'm gonna beat this shit out of you, and I really want to win this time, but also it's gonna get flirty sooner or later.
Right. Yeah. I'm sure there's other ones that are more like current, but that's the only one I could think of that was like in something I was like consuming currently, I guess.
Yeah. I'd also say
What's up, Dan?
Oh yeah, I was just gonna say the first rivalship that I ever was like aware of that I was like, yeah, this is true and right and correct was obviously like Naruto and Sasuke.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, me too.
I was just like, oh yeah, no, that's just factually correct. And then the show was like, no, it's not. And it's like, you're lying to me.
Mhm.
I
I
will
mean, they
say the
literally
most
kiss in the show, right?
it was like for most of the show, Naruto's first and only kiss was Sasuke.
There you
And
go.
they pointed out multiple times that that is his first and only kiss. I will say my most recent one, I don't know if it's a true rivalry, but Mob and Teru from Mob Psycho. Mostly because I like the idea of Mob has no idea that Teru wants to date him, and Teru also just wants to make this like a rivalry, and Mob's like, no, it's not.
Oh, I
Yeah.
love that. I actually kind of love like where one's like, "Oh, I don't consider you my enemy or
Yeah.
rival. You're just my friend."
Yeah, where
That
one
shit-
person is like,
that
yeah,
shit
we're
rules.
just friends, and also we're not like really equals in this, and the other one's like, I will surpass you one day, and they're like, that's not what this is about.
Man.
Oh, I was actually thinking, fuck, it's Kiryu and Majima.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I don't know a ton about those games, but like I do hear that's a
That
Yeah.
feels like a one where Kiryu is like, I would prefer if you leave me alone, and Majima's, I'm going to be in your life forever.
Yeah.
some of the best ships out there. Like either start off as rival ships or just like are that, because I feel like
Yeah.
a lot of like ones are good because they like start off that way and then there's like a redemption.
This was
Whatever.
weirdly a hard question because my first immediate thought was like, oh, Gon and Killua, but then I remember they're not rivals, they're just dating.
right. It's like they're like best friends, but they're also
They
kind of
like to
rivals
challenge each other,
because,
but
you
I was
know,
just like, they're not rivals, they're just straight up dating.
they're just yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
that's the problem, right? Like
sometimes it
it's
just be like that.
What counts as a rival and what counts as, you know, is it enemy? Is it just
Yeah.
friendly rivalry? Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Any good teachers you'd like to tell us about?
I spent so long on the shipping one. I'm like, I don't know.
I have two from my college days, and one that wasn't my teacher but was my brother's from when he was in school.
Mm-hmm.
The one for my brother was he has ADHD and ADD, and it was like a lot of teachers didn't know how to like help him with it. And one day he got into, I think it was 4th grade, and his teacher was like, oh, ADHD, yeah, I can help him with that, and like had like entire lesson plans set up for him, and like he did amazing in that class. And I just like always think of that teacher because she was just like, she was so accommodating and just helpful.
Oh, that.
And I honestly can't remember like her name, which is probably bad, but like I just always remember how good that class was for him.
Great.
And then for me, my class college, I had one that I had to take like a class on the history of plays just because my schedule got messed up, and I was like, oh, I'll sign up for this one. And I don't know if this is necessarily like good teacher or just teacher that I liked, but it was, this dude was just so casual about this whole class because he's like, yeah, a lot of you are probably here just because of schedule mix-ups. So like some days it would be like, it would snow like an inch outside, and he'd be like, oh no, the roads are so bad, I can't get to class, even though the roads are fine. He's like, well, class is canceled today. He was just like, oh yeah, we're just gonna sit here and we're just gonna watch like a movie about a play, and I'm not gonna say anything.
of my favorite high school teachers was she was like my history teacher for junior and senior year, because my high school did a thing where like you had the same teacher for 2 years. It was kind of weird. I don't know. It's hard to explain, kind of. Like for like English and history though, you like had the same teacher for 2 years, so like freshman, sophomore, and then junior, senior. But yeah, my junior, senior one, she like, I was in my school's like IB program, so I like we had to do this class that was called like, theory of knowledge or something like that, in order to do the program, and so like she kind of taught me like how to think, because I feel like if I hadn't taken a class like that, I might have ended up with like as like one of those like annoying like logic is everything kind of people, or like there's only one way of like understanding the world, and that's science jack off motion. Call me, Neil deGrasse Tyson, because I'm an asshole, but like I feel like, yeah, it helped me a lot with being like, oh, there's like legitimately like other ways people take in information. It's not just like the scientific method. It's not just, I feel like because of that stuff, I never went through like epic atheist phase or anything like that, thankfully. I don't know if I would have, but like I think that definitely helped me not do that. Yeah, she was great. Also, it's funny. My English teacher those years was like super nice. It was great because the English teacher I had before that was a total asshole. He was good at like teaching people things, but he just
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good at teaching, bad person.
Yeah, I can definitely relate to that.
Some people loved him. I just know he treated one of my friends. Jive with him very well. And then I just don't remember like professors that like super duper stuck out that way. I had one for like a science fiction class I took. It's funny, all the professors I remember liking are not the ones that were my bio professors, even though I was a molecular genetics.
That's because bio teachers are kind of like evil.
Right, but like that my major was molecular genetics, but I ended up liking all my like English writing teacher professors more. I'm like, I probably should have gone into that, but I didn't. Whoops.
Yeah.
Oh well. I have a creating writing minor though, so maybe that's why, because I liked them more. But there you go. So
yeah, I'm actually at a loss to think of like a truly good, amazing teacher. Like I can think of like my social studies teacher in freshman year who like really taught me about like cultures outside of like America. Like they like, we all know how history is like. They just teach you about America and that's it. He like had all this time dedicated to like distinctly like non-Western cultures. He was also a little goofy. Like, two things that I immediately remember about him are the time he did a perfect split and how his like desktop that he like would sync up to like the board was like a quote from a wrestler opener. It was like, it's time to play the game or whatever. I also like remember there are like teachers I liked. Like I remember liking one of my computer science teachers. I remember liking some other teachers. There was this teacher I had in the 4th grade who somehow, some way, just like made me realize not to freak out over everything.
Damn, I wish I had a teacher like that. Just kidding.
Yeah.
Not freaking out couldn't be me.
Yeah, mostly it was like not freaking out over losing games, which
Yeah.
I had a real problem with up to until that point in my childhood.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's basically it. Like, I wouldn't say, like, I can only think of one explicitly bad teacher, but those are just ones that come out as, like, good teachers in my mental landscape.
Yeah, I mostly had, like, in high school anyway, middle and high school, I had, like, good, mostly good experiences with, like, teachers, even if I didn't have always great experiences with everyone there.
Yeah. Let's see. Our next question is from Stephen Marshmallow, who asks, what kind of profession would your "Hey kids, please like me" robot have?
Gamer.
Yeah, professional Twitch streamer,
gamer.
VTuber.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Kids YouTuber. Really anything that involves streaming things online is just perfect. Let's see. But I'm just thinking about the alternate universe where Mr. Intelligente was a Twitch streamer, and actually Mr. Intelligente call-out post, Mr. Intelligente apology video.
Mr. Intelligente version of PogChamp. I know he only had glowing eyes on the screen of his face, but like, what if he had a
Mr.
mouth?
Intelligente turning every single emote into a picture of Dr. Eggman.
Yeah.
Hype train for Eggman.
Egg Champ.
Yeah. Egg Champ.
Egg Champ.
Egg Champ. Yeah. Let's see. And our last question, which was from Flutterdark, which was like, how did the school let the robot in? And yeah, we explained they didn't. He just came in, then he said, okay, he's good, let's let him stay.
I assume
great.
since this is an American school, they don't have like lockdown things everywhere because America is broken. So I think you can just like walk into schools.
I think it might have been an American.
Oh, they're in America?
Yeah, like from what I can
were
piece
in
together,
unnamed
this might
fantasy
actually
country.
be America. Like the one thing that immediately comes to mind is just that the president is literally a fusion of Richard Nixon and George Bush.
Right. And I think the reason I thought that too was like they have like kind of Americanized names, even in Japanese.
Yeah.
Some of the cultural things just felt very like American.
Yeah, like Sam
even in the
Speed.
sub.
Like how Chris's uncle is a race car driver. Wait.
Wait, not his uncle.
Wait, shit, have we not actually gotten to the episode where they explain that?
No.
Shit, okay. But yeah, like but you know what I'm talking about. Yeah, this might actually be America, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm not sure where this takes place, but like
9/11 didn't happen in this timeline.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's all our questions. So, let's roll for next week. That is a 3. We are talking about American comics, so next week we will probably be talking about Archie comics. I'll need to... Oh, shit. Okay. Devon has to pop out and come back in. Devon's sound cut out.
Hello.
Hello.
Okay, I'm sorry about that. The sound just
Hello?
suddenly went out.
Oh, cool. Alright. Yeah, let me So, anyways, we rolled a 3. That'll be American comics, which means we'll be talking about more Archie Sonic. I have to check the reading order to figure out where we're going next.
Yeah?
Why don't I do that now, and I'll cut out me searching for this. Next week, we'll be reading Sonic the Hedgehog's issues 21 through 25. We might cut out 24 because it seems to be a filler issue. Yeah, Oh, yeah, definitely get to 25, because 25 is a milestone issue. So, I'm Dan. You can find me at a lot of places, and you can find all those places at linktr.ee/Mike_Dawson with a 0. From there, you can find my Twitter. You can find the other podcasts I'm on, which include Pod of Greed, a Yu-Gi-Oh podcast. We're talking about Yu-Gi-Oh! GX. It's really good. Hopefully by the time you hear this, well, actually, probably after you hear this, I don't know. But we're about halfway through season 1. You can listen to Stranger's Fiction, an actual play podcast that I do with various friends, including question asker Jasmine. By the time you hear this, the last episode of our Get Your Game On campaign will be done, which is an RPG set based on Yu-Gi-Oh! GX. You can also visit at Xbox_holiday, where Usher celebrates holidays with Xbox. Why don't I actually pull up? Let me cut this out. Me looking through the schedule so I know what'll actually be up by the time. Okay, so by the time you hear this episode, Happy Rosa Parks Day, Xbox. Let's see, Morg, where can we find you?
You can find me at Haunting the Morg on Twitter. That's Haunting the MORG. You can also find me on my Hunter x Hunter podcast, Departure Lounge, where I, for the first time, watch Hunter x Hunter. My 2 co-pilots help me through it, and we talk about it. It's the best plain-themed Hunter x Hunter podcast out there.
Yep. You can find me on Twitter at Grooving Ghastly, and you can find me also on a Hunter x Hunter podcast. It is called Gone Will Hunting, where me and my 2 hosts go through it for not the first time, but just because we want to, and we want to talk about our very good boys. And you can find that at Gone Will Hunting at
All right. And as always, and we are the Sonic Shuffle. You can find us on Twitter at Shuffle Sonic, and from there you can find our Discord. Please join our Discord. We'd love to see some new faces. And so, as always, Sonic is real, he is strong, And he is my friend.
He is the only blue live that matters.
The only one.
Good night.
Good night, everyone.